Hey guys, welcome back to Double the Hustle podcast. I'm Tori.
And I'm Anna.
And today our guest is an artist, Dylan Hypner, also known as the Artist Komodo.
Guys, today he brings us through his entire story and what he's gone through, from becoming a D1 athlete at Stony Brook to making it to his dream job in finance on Wall Street, but then quitting it all to become an artist. He'll take you through everything, his worst stories, his nightmares, and how and where he's going today. He'll even be at Art Basel this year in Miami, so check him out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back every week to double your hustle. Let's go.
Sleeve, and remember you asked me the artist that did it?
Yeah, look.
So,
have you seen mine?
Yeah, let me see. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. I love that. Look at the detail on that face. Who did it? What's the artist name?
She's from up here.
Oh, yeah?
It's Jazzy Camacho.
Killed that shit. That is sick.
Yeah, she's so good.
Do you have any, Victoria?
Just my,
Other arm.
Forgot the arm. Now you gotta get the other one.
Oh, no, not that
Oh,
one.
no.
Where'd it go?
It's washable?
Oh, I think it left.
Yo.
That's crazy. Well, actually, I'm a huge, like, big, not a fan of when you're actually tattooing with the guns, like, to practice when they go away, which the girl who kind of tattooing me up, she did that at first, and I'm like, what the fuck, why?
Yeah.
A couple of scribbles permanently is better than,
I know.
Wait,
shit
it does
that's
go
gonna
away,
leave.
though?
There's a couple machines, which I've learned the hard way, because when I was apprenticing, trying to, in a full suit, coming back from fucking Wall Street every day, 6:30, I would go to all these tattoo shops for hours, talking, knocking on the doors. Hey, I'm this guy. I'm an artistic guy. I'm
Trying
doing
to
do
get
art.
in.
I'm trying to be art. I got licensed, and nobody gave me the time. It was all like,
Yeah, that's a lot of that space.
it was all you have to be here all day, because I didn't want to get paid. But they're like, you have to be here all day, and I'm like, we physically can't. So,
I tried to do it too.
you really did?
Yeah, we tried to do it together.
You two, both of you guys
Yeah.
tattoo?
Yeah. We
You
tried.
guys tattoo?
We tried. No, but I have everything.
Oh
to
man,
do
we should
it.
have talked about it. We should have got this right here. I would have let
For
you guys tattoo
years.
me.
Zzz.
I would have
Yeah,
brought my
for
machine.
years
That's the
we-
podcast right here.
Yeah.
The art podcast. Take my leg. I'll just be chilling here. Put some music on.
Yeah. We tried, but it's like we said, it's very hard to break into that industry. There were so many people. Who
I feel like
said-
they're not wanting to
who
help.
said
They're
no.
not wanting to
Yeah.
help.
Not at all.
And it's actually, they told me, the last guy I went to, which I appreciate, I'd rather you be honest. He was like, look, man, there's a lot of competition out here, and like someone like you might come in and learn what I'm doing and then go run. And I'm like,
No.
I'm not even going to just say no, because I'm not going to, but people will. So
Yeah, people do that, but like,
That's what happens.
you're
though, in
never
any
gonna
industry,
tattoo
no?
what he tattoos. Like, you're never gonna be him in
now
general.
that's my point on this earth.
Yeah.
To change the art game, to fuck it up,
Yeah.
to show
Yeah.
that
There's-
all these artists are fucking, that are practicing, in my opinion, the traditional way. Where like in an art class where you guys same shit, I was in all my art classes was like a freaking library. Like,
Yeah.
shh, like you're
Yeah.
talking, you're yelling out, shh. We were painting this bird over here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I hate this. I'm going to go play football. And like,
Right.
as life happened, then I found my own creativity, which everyone does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hated the art classes and the people that really
It's actually really true.
don't work with other
yeah.
artists or try to be like, oh, wow, this guy's in a suit from finance. Like, let me help him learn his creative side.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to be that person in the world. And, I got to do what I'm trying to do now to be in that seat. But it's a cool story. you know.
Yeah.
Let's start.
cool.
Let's,
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning so that everybody knows.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
that's it.
Let's go. Oh, there it is. Let's go. I didn't even know.
So, from the beginning, who's Dylan and where'd you grow up? What was it like growing up? Tell us about your childhood.
just a little bit of like the whole past.
Yeah.
So,
Childhood.
Poughkeepsie, shout out Poughkeepsie, here now 2 hours away, but born and raised in Long Island, big family guy, the best parents in the world. So like from the time I was born that I can remember till now, till this day, things that they surprise me.
Yeah.
They're always there for me. And I met your parents.
Yeah.
Same thing where like even
Huge.
Aunt now, I'm like, I can hang out with you all day and I could see the father figure and, that aspect. So my family's everything. sports too, or we were embedded in us. So we played all sports and everything. And as I was in 7th grade in football practice, out of nowhere, they pulled me out of practice. I was going to the bathroom so much, like drinking, and they pulled me to the hospital and said, you got type 1 diabetes. So I'm sitting there and like crying like a little kid. And I was like, ah. And all of a sudden this doctor looked at me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm playing football. So he said, you can't play football anymore. Oh. And I was like, ah. What?
Yeah.
I can't play football. I stopped crying. I was like a little like,
mad.
Not even knowing what mad is, but like a little like attitude kid. I'm like, what? And in that moment, I was like, I'm trying to go to the NFL to prove that like nothing could hold someone back. So stopped lacrosse, boxing, basketball, all these sports I was playing. And I played at Stony Brook, so I was a D1 linebacker. Wow. And at that time, it was such a cool experience, and meeting everyone was my favorite thing. From like learning about Southern football, which is embedded in like religion down there. And like I played in the mud in East Meadow, and my boy Ray Bolden looks at me, and I'm sitting in the stadium like, oh, you did it, Dill. Looking at this little dome, and he comes into me, he goes, dude, this is dope. Good stuff. He goes, my high school stadium was $60 million stadium, which is Allen in Texas. And, you know, at that moment right there, I realized, you know, like, how big this football was a culture in other parts where I'm not from. So was trying to go to the NFL. That was my goal. Broke my foot. It didn't happen. So then, you know, with a marketing degree graduating, I'm like, you know, I want to be the provider and the protector. And not knowing that there is so much money in marketing, I was like, finance, you know, my older brother did it. He's a CFP at Schwab. I'm like, let me do it. So I knew at that moment, without background, how do I become a JP Morgan financial advisor? That's the goal with no background. You think, all right, let me do it internally where Chase and JP Morgan are the same. So let me work my way up as like a teller to a banker, to an investment associate, to a junior advisor, where eventually I got to the Chase branches, then to Wall Street, got my Series 7, my 65.
So you didn't start going in finance?
Well, in college, I was a marketing major.
So you don't have a finance degree at all?
No, I do have a finance degree, but when I was in college, I was a marketing major. So I just went into finance and had to build that up like from scratch. And finally I got, you know, from this SIE, which is the first test you take, then the Series 6. And then eventually, once I went from Chase to JP in investments, Series 7. So, you know, I felt like the Wolf of Wall Street. I was on the suit every day. These two guys I look up to till this day, Anthony and Ken. Again, father figure, we're talking type of guys where we were best friends. First, Anthony took me to Vegas for the first time, all around. Ken's taking me to Saratoga with the horses, and I'm with all their friends, and we're building bonds. And you know, we had such a good relationship where it was mutual beneficial for them going to hook me up and then me going to do the right thing and work my ass off. And then out of nowhere, I was talking to some girl, like I told you, and, you know, she's practicing tattooing. So she would tattoo me up a little bit. And then one day I tattooed her and it came out pretty good. So I tattooed like 10 other people and I was like, I like this. I'm getting creative. And I said, let me do it the right way. I got licensed in Nassau County. So,
remember,
you know, I would
blood test that we had to do that.
The blood and everything. So I think I'm going to take a test of like tattoos. What do you do with the needles? It's like hepatitis. What's hepatitis C? It's hepatitis. Like literally. So I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is pretty cool, you know? And like, you know.
But that's all you need. Isn't that crazy?
So that's all you need. And you also have to have a location where you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because where the camera is, technically was like a mobile artist, you know? I was like bouncing around, going to New York City. We're going to pregame. I'll be like, who wants a tat? Bang, bang, bang. We all take a picture. What's up? And like, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And people were throwing me money. So like within 50 tats, then I started making physical art, just getting my creative flowing. And, you know, I say one thing that's true is when people talk shit, they do it behind your backs. When you're talking shit to someone's face, unless you're like, it's aggressive, like a fight. If you love each other, you like each other, and you're talking shit, in my opinion, it's like they look out for me, they care. People are gonna talk, they're telling me to hear. So my best friends, some of my family were like, look, tattoos are good, but the art's like next level. And I was like, dope. So the tats are horrible. And the art's pretty cool. They're like, no. And I'm like, no, I got you. Thank you. So stop doing tats. Deleted them all off my page, and I'm like, now I'm going to focus on art. And then I'm sitting in JP Morgan in this freaking awesome office, and I have like this vision to get my art to someone big. So I look up online, first person, Mike Tyson, Friday in 2 days. So after going to Wall Street, calling, hey, Mr. Smith, how are you? Yes, everything's fine, blah, like crazy finance guy. I would go home and be like, I got to construct this art piece for Tyson. And Friday, I gave it to him. Long story short, he loved it. He kept it, hopefully he's at one of his houses now. But the next week I had that fire, and I'm like, let me do it again. Crazy. And then someone I met said, yo, 50 Cent's going to be here promoting his new cognac. His Branson, what it is. And I said, let me make 2 pieces for 50. He's not getting one. He's getting, that's my guy. I'm going to make him 2. So pulled up on him. He looked like he loved it, and he's grabbed me. And I'm like, dude, you're my favorite artist. Like every day, it's not even like new.
Yeah.
I'm bumping like in the club when I'm like getting pumped up, going to events. And the next week, I was in an event with the Jets and the Giants. So Saquon Barkley's there, is the biggest guy in the NFL that I look up to. So within those 2 weeks, it was these 3 guys within different industries that I actually look up to on the GOAT status. So I met Tony Peck at that event. Shout out Mr. Peck, godfather of Instagram. And he goes, dude, your story is like really, impactful. He said, my advice for you is to invest in yourself. Not to not invest in other things, but if you focus on yourself, put everything into what you got right now, you're going to succeed. And then he looked at me and said, here's my number, right? He said, here's my number, but don't text me unless you leave JP Morgan, right? So after I left that night, Tony, I was like, wow, this guy was cool. Like Italian boss guy, just met, great convo. Saquon's there. I'm just talking to Tony for an hour. Didn't want to talk to anybody. Getting this advice, inspired. And I'm leaving, and I'm like, I love that guy, but he's telling me to leave everything from high school, from college, to do this.
Did you ever think about that before?
There was little things. Like people at the work field would see our work I did, and like, why are you here? And I'm like, yeah, but not to the point where I was like, let me quit.
Yeah, because that's people's like hardest thing to like leave to their
let go.
Yeah, leave their like comfort.
Corporate.
I mean, most people, that's their goal, like of a lifetime, is to go. Be a finance person at Chase, JP Morgan.
Yeah.
Like those are big places. Like you already did that. So like a lot of people.
And you were successful there.
Right.
Yeah. And the funny part though, people don't realize, right? Like now that I'm on a lot of podcasts now, the first one, which Tony gave me advice to, that be yourself, which as now it's probably like number 15 to the point where I love this because I'm just talking to you guys and telling, certain things. And, to the point where I wasn't really making much. I was in a successful path, but I wasn't even making 100K yet. Tyson, I gave the piece to him. 50, I gave the piece to him. I quit JP Morgan without making $1. And it was just really those 3 guys having my piece and smiling at me saying they love it. I was like, that's what I need. That's the fire. Mm-hmm. And so, I basically had a couple of visions showing my life staying in this awesome job and being this guy that I really am not every day to day. I'm not as professional. I love being crazy. I don't give a shit.
Right.
And that was nuts. Maybe
like your 9 to 5 in a cubicle, like sucked.
Yeah. And hear me out. It didn't suck, but it wasn't like my full authentic like self. And finally had to realize, doing that I had to leave. So I had 2 visions. One that showed myself at JP, hunting the money, getting it, making $1 million a year. Had the mansion, the cars, $1 million office, but at the end of that vision, I was alone. The mansion was quiet, cold, dark. Mm-hmm. I was like this on my office chair with a mahogany desk in front of me, artwork all over, huge layout, but no one was talking. I couldn't talk. And the vision actually just blacked out where everything around me was awesome, but there was no love. I couldn't talk. No one else was talking. Then I got sucked into a vision as me as an artist. Literally, it was all white around me. I swear, like that's so Raven shit. Like I was in this and sitting on my couch, like just sober, getting this like download or vision. And I was in this white room and it was just people I love. All my friends, all my family around me, smiling, laughing with me, doing art with me. Celebrities were around me. I had paint all over me like I was an art piece. And, you know, last night at the event, I'm telling this story too, and I had paint all over me. And it's not about the celebrities, but it's about that finding out that, like, when you're looking for the money, even when you make the money, it's not going to be there. Like, once you find out, like, you could just wake up every day and be like, yes, what are we going to do today? Am I going to go to Poughkeepsie and see the Trainer twins, the Boss Girls, and have a podcast? Yes, because I don't need to, you know, essentially chase something that I'm not extremely passionate about, which is people.
Yeah.
And that's my big thing that I tell people, you know, when they ask me about my story, my advice, I say relationships and people, which we spoke about, you know, the other day,
huge,
is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I'm chasing people, and I want to make people smile. I want to make people laugh, and I want to teach people my style of art. Because we all have an expiration date, right?
Yeah.
But there's what can you do while you're here?
Exactly.
What could you do? And it's like, you know, I want to be looking down from the heavens above and see hopefully a nice sexy plaque on the wall with one of the best pictures, not my hair looking like shit, with like the Artist Komodo, founder of Komodo Art. Now there's artists from around the country coming in, and this thing is built and will live on to the point where right now it's just getting started.
Right.
So, and I couldn't have done that again, not
Without
hating on
going through this
JP,
shit.
but this is what I want to do, is make
You had to do that
difference.
first to figure out that wasn't what you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah. I think, how much do you think, I mean, especially for like me, I feel like sports play like a huge impact in like being able to, like, the discipline, the, you know, like just every day doing
Work
the same
ethic.
thing, work ethic to get better. Like, how much do you think that helped you when you were a kid? Because I think that helps like
I mean,
everybody
even
as a
being
kid.
like a D1 athlete, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got up twice a day to weight room practice. We did the same thing. And that builds your discipline more than I think anyone, you know.
Hands
Anything
down.
else.
One of the best questions I've ever got. Like, especially on a podcast where, as you said it, I'm like, again, I don't need to like think. Certain things that come from the heart, like, that's one thing, again, I preach that, you know, for kids growing up, you know, even for parents, to let their kids, like my parents let me play all different sports, see what you like. If a kid doesn't like it, don't push them. But what sports does is it allows you to, first of all, figure out what you like. There's contact sports, then there's sports without contact, for, you know, and you got to try it to see.
Right.
So for me, it started with my dad, right? My brother, you know, in the backyard. Then it went to like coaches in elementary school that I look up to, like my coach James Skinner I met at the event last night, that I gave him a hug and said, you're like my second dad. And then the cool story about it was my high school football experience. So my coach, shout out Vinny Massia, EMFB baby, number 34, East Meadow football. That is my like hole in my heart that I have.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta turn this off. That's like the hole I have in my heart that I still think about all the time and get these memories that I get emotional about, because it's not about the football, right? Like how Coach Massia like kind of led that team was like family. So and a lot of the coaches and teams that deal with similar things. But you know, with this experience, there was such a crazy time that we had where you know, I really wanted to go to the NFL. So first I had to start with D1 football. So we had a strong bond. And there were some times when, you know, maybe I wasn't doing the right thing, or I didn't have my head there in the field one day. And he would be upfront with me, Dylan, hold me accountable. Let's go. What are you doing? Like, you got a game. You're the captain. Yeah. And sometimes we went back at each other a little bit, right? Of course. And then there's times when literally when with him after games and stuff, hugging him, and the most emotional after certain wins. Right. And after year after year after year after I left, when I went to college, I started to realize everything and look at even the times when he was getting loud and I was, maybe I'm still a little defensive. Yeah, of course. Back then I was more sensitive, and you know, it taught me how to take positive criticism. Because he's not yelling because he's mad. He's trying to help you. And for an athlete to get that in someone's head, even if it's business,
it's hard.
You can't even in this business world be like, yeah, you got to do this. We just
Yeah.
lost $1 million last quarter. No,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah,
Jimmy,
exactly.
Jimmy, get your head out of your ass because you're in charge of
Right.
the accounting department.
100%.
And Lisa, and now it's accountability. So between learning about positive criticism, which is one of the best things that I love, and then teamwork. Teamwork goes into everything in life.
It does.
And I think just say it bluntly, a lot of people's problem is they don't understand the value of teamwork, being that the best person in a one-man show, the one-man army, is not going to beat a sub-average army of 100 people doing something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Even and if they are that master, I'm not going to say it's not. There's times, maybe in rare cases, different talent comes in and they're just different. But most of the time, if you have the right team, you look at all the best companies. It's
not one person.
teams. It's
Yeah.
more, like,
The biggest
thousands.
companies aren't one person.
So
Yeah.
sports really taught me most things besides my family and like my bond and how I was raised, my mannerism.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if a woman's walking in front of me, I'm going to hold the door.
Yeah.
If little Granny Ann's coming in, I'm going to ask, can I help you carry that? And not because anything, but besides the reason it's how I was raised.
Yeah.
And from the parents and then the sports. And the funny thing is, from that high school experience, not only was it, was I more like on a different caliber, going to play college, like led the league in tackles and whatnot. It was more the family bond we had.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, Stony Brook, I got there and I was expecting that real.
Great school.
Yeah.
Stony Brook's a cool school.
Yeah.
It's great.
I
Especially
got
for
there and I was like, shit, thank you, football, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I know that. I
like-
always say that because me and Tor got recruited to row at Temple, and I
Oh, that's sick.
always
Really?
say that and I always say like that's one thing I wish that everybody gets to experience because when you get to that level like of playing for a D1 school, like you are like their like prodigy. Like they give you everything and anything that you want, you need, like everything just gets like handed to you. Like, and it's something that I've never experienced. So to experience that, I like hope that everybody experiences that.
That's too, yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
it's kinda crazy.
like everything just
Well, you guys like saw
It's all
firsthand
here.
of the collegiate side where the thing that honestly I didn't love, the people there,
Yeah.
like I loved my teammates
Yeah.
still I talked to,
Yeah.
but the side of the business world
yeah,
where
what you
where
don't
even my
see.
head coach, where I'll just say it,
yeah.
like he wasn't like the warmest guy, and I always was like so respectful, and I was putting the shit on the field where everyone was like, oh, who's hip?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Like,
Yeah.
I was getting in scraps. I'm like, I'm this walk-on guy that they're saying they're going to give me a Scally. How am I going to get it? I got
Right.
to
Gotta
show
show
them
it.
who's here.
Yeah.
So, there'd be times I remember I would have a crazy practice, and then the next morning I'll open the door for him as you walk in the meeting, and not even saying good job, not even good morning,
you,
not saying
nothing.
anything. Just walks in. I'm like, and the way that they treat people that aren't playing, right? It's
Over-
more of
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah, of
like they
course.
give you everything, and you get put in that position and that status when you're a provider for the business for the university. Whereas East Meadow football, EMFB, as high school, same with you guys, when you're playing a high school sport, it's like a family thing. You're playing with people you grew
Yeah.
up with. The main mission is
There's
to
a
like
culture.
really win a chip.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
For college, it's like how much money we're
Money,
bringing in.
money,
Why are
Right.
the
money,
bleachers all not filled? So, my high school football coach family experience is the main
Drove
thing
that.
that
Yeah. Definitely.
kind of leads me on to what
Yeah.
today I still preach.
Yeah.
Were you always like, oh, I have a creative side? Like I always wanted to do something as far as like, you always wanted to do like something creative, or like you found it like kind of later on?
No, so shout out Kyle Anderson. I always talk about him in the podcast.
Yeah.
My cousin, first cousins, my second brother. I always tell him like we're not cousins, we're brothers. All my
Yeah.
cousins, and I looked up to him so much. I still do, to everything he did. It started when we were little kids, and he had these Yu-Gi-Oh cards for Christmas. And I looked at these Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he's like going through, and I'm like, "You're the man, dude. These are the sickest
Yeah.
cards, bro. Like, I've never seen these things." And then like, a couple weeks later, he's dancing. He's doing crazy stuff at a young age. He's doing windmills and shit. He's flipping and stuff. And I'm like, wow, imagine I could bring that to the elementary school I'd clean up. Yeah. So I always looked at, we would have dance practice classes and he would teach me moves, be trying to learn them. And then finally he's drawing and he would draw these dragons and these castles. It's like fantasy shit. And I'm like, dude, you're the man, bro. Like, I need to draw now. So we would have sessions where I, as a younger cousin, would be like, all right, Kyle, we're going to do like an hour. And like, we would both split up. He would do a little part, I would do it. And then we would come back and do it together. It's kind of where I learned this together aspect. And then from there, I started drawing for like the next like 10 years. And I had a notebook. I would always draw. Even in college, I would sketch, but that's really it. And then, as elementary school, middle school, high school, college even, I almost was an art minor. I took a few classes, a bunch of fundamental just classes, just like for credits, which was cool. But even in the college field, it was more like, again, you're in a library.
Yeah.
You're going to paint this.
Yeah.
Right.
And hear me out. Again, for all the artists, it's the fundamentals to really learn, which makes sense. But here's my thing. In the music industry, same thing as the art industry right now in this world. The education system in music, they don't teach anything about producing, engineering, history of jazz, hip hop, rock and roll. They don't teach you the back end about right now on this podcast, the technical side of music, what you could do with it, about DJing. My boy Connor O'Sullivan over here is DJing. There's so many different things where I said this quote before that I read the other day that was like, someone really different can hit a target when you have like talent. Like real talent can hit a target, but like genius status could hit someone that no one even sees. So like they're not teaching you the stuff that no one could see. Now it goes back with art. From elementary school to college, it was all like, everybody, this is the assignment, get your own section and do it.
You even get graded on your art.
Yeah, so I kind of really didn't like that. And that's why I was like, to your point with the creative, in college, no, I was like money. And it wasn't money for me for a Lambo or a Rollie. Yeah. It was for like, my biggest thing in life is like, I want to be looked at as a protector and a provider for my loved ones, where if someone's talking shit to my family, I'm going to knock you out with uppercut or hook or whatever it is. And that's going to be it. And, if I'm having this family and I'm growing up and, the way I was raised, I couldn't ask for anything better. I got everything I ever wanted.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I'm going to really try to go to the moon. But on this provider aspect, I need to do what I got to do for my people around me.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
I was chasing money still. I was like this provider part.
Yeah.
That's why I left marketing.
Because they don't really show you it's not that it's newer, but like entrepreneur, like you could be a provider and still make bank doing your passion.
Yeah.
So like that's what people are now realizing instead of just going to your financial job 9 to 5. You can actually do. You can literally sit. Well,
my big thing, what I say is like,
you can make money on your phone.
It's the corporate stuff. I really
Which is great. Some people make even social media from corporate jobs. All these finance guys have social medias that are making them money too.
That was my point. I was just going to go into that and say my biggest piece of advice is not really do what I did, because it's kind of like a really big risk that I want to prove to other people that eventually I'm going to do it before I'm talking this, and I'm really on a mission. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'll look someone in the eyes confidently without making a smirk and say, I'm going to own this next big art company. I'm going to be one of the next big artists.
Right.
Not if, when, and it's going to happen. But to the point when, what were we just talking about before?
Still being creative while in the finance
my
world.
biggest takeaway with the advice to people is not to do what I did, but it's about everybody needs to pay bills. It's a tough world out here. I'm not saying do that, because that's not my position to say. And but my position to say is get out there and let your passion and your creative side, or your just a side that relaxes you, your hobby, out when you're not working. Because if you get home and you take that back, yes, you could be such a provider and a producer and any
We were
job,
just talking about that, yeah.
but it's going to drain you to the point where, like I said, I'm a big believer where I hate to get morbid, but we all have an expiration date, and we all everybody been through something, seen shit in family. You guys know firsthand it's how we met.
Of course.
And when that comes to like your realization, it's like,
nothing else matters.
really. we the cool thing is in my aspect is having that connection then, right?
Yeah.
So now you guys with G, me with my nanny. Now it's like, there's a guardian angel. There's someone that you're talking to when you're not with anybody, right? And then there's that aspect too of like, you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks. Anybody watching right now, like some people are going to hate me. Some people are going to I'm corny. I'm extra. These art humor videos I'm doing saying starting a painting, finishing a painting. I'm kicking, I'm lighting on fire.
Yeah.
You bet your ass some people are like, look at Dylan now.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
And I love them. Because they're helping me send that shit to everyone.
Yeah, of
and
course.
once you know the real Dylan and what I'm really trying to do and what my heart aligns with, that's the people I'm focused on.
Yeah.
And just knowing that social media is going to help, because I had an account in college, Dill Gates. Not Bill Gates, baby. This was Dill Gates. And I was like a vlogger. Or go around, family trips, anything I did. I would get on the roof with a Game of Thrones helmet with a sword and slice fruit and Fruit Ninja. And I would get like thousands and thousands of views. World Star put it up. And I would get like 5,000 views and like 500 likes. And I'm like, It's my first time realizing there's snakes deep embedded in the grass. Anacondas, pythons, cobras, you name them. And I didn't like that at the time. I got a little... I got like butt hurt, and I was like, all these people are just looking, they're not even, what am I doing? So I completely deleted when I was JP Morgan Dill. I deleted it. I said, I'm running this lifestyle.
Which is a lot what you think. Like people, you have like those corporate jobs.
I took the earrings out. I'm like, all right, like let's get the comb over going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nice to meet you, Dylan Hipner. How are you? Here's my card. And it wasn't me.
But that's a lot of people even now. Like you see people like, oh, don't get a tattoo because they're not going to hire you if it's visible. You know what I'm saying? So
now it's a crazy world with the tattoos. Now you see that people with tattoos in every profession.
Yeah.
That it's like, it's looked at different.
Still like your parents always, even like when we were getting tattoos, like my grandparents always said that. Like, make sure you can cover up.
Yeah.
My grandfather, Papa, he goes, never get a tattoo. He goes, we're going to be so upset. And I go, Papa, you have 2 on both arms. I said, what's the deal here? He goes, that was back then. It was $5 each for one. I was 16 because I got one here, I came off and my mother said, you better wash it off or you're not coming in the house in Brooklyn where they were. And I'm like, dude, 5 bones a pop for that? Like, that's sick.
Yeah, see?
And then he goes, you see my tattoos? See how they're all black and you can't see anything? And I'm like, your grandfather, there's something called sun protection that you never used, and
that's why they look like that.
$5 a pop, but the guy was probably giving tats like me, So
so like I mean, people do like
it's hard.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like
always
that.
haters. You can't be yourself.
Yeah, but at least I could cover mine. That's what I did too. I always have that in the back of my head, like
you could cover it.
Yeah. I always think about that.
Yeah, but like I would say.
I mean, it sucks.
It's arguably now, like, you don't have to do that. Like, you could find a way without that.
Yeah, you can. You could remove it. But you know what I say? Like this leg, is not that tatted.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What is it? It's a leg. And it, not the hairiest leg. Italian jeans didn't come in there, but it's just a leg.
Yeah.
And everyone got them.
Yeah.
This leg is sick. This leg's the one people are, like, when I walk by, like, oh, my eyes up here, Chico. Like, literally, without a pair of tits, this leg gets me those eyes. And people are like, this leg gets nothing, garbanzo. So for me, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, besides the walking thing and the kicking, and someone comes to provide her, actually, protect her. But, so in my opinion, if you like them, you like them. You don't.
Now I think it's totally changing.
It's getting more acceptable.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. Because back then it was really a lot more like sailors and bikers, and the stigma of what they did was a little bit more,
shitty.
Crazy.
Very
So
true.
it came with that thing. Now you're seeing like nurses like, oh, let me take your vitals. 2 full badass sleeves with skulls and everything. I'm like, I trust you. Yeah. Keep going.
I trust you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my mom just had open heart surgery. My best friend, my mentor, my everything in my life, and such a traumatic experience for our whole family.
Yeah.
And as it was going on, thank God, knock on wood, she's doing amazing now.
Yeah.
She's recovering. She's great. She's back to work, and we're just blessed. And as we were there, I dealt this with my nanny like 10 years ago, which was, again, so traumatic. But this moment, my mom, there were some complications that happened and stuff, and I had to really see the nurses and the doctors get to work and see them do things that they just do that, in situations where it's like so much things are different, complex, individual with different people, how they take medicine. So just hearing them talk and being right there with my mom, I'm like, what's going on? All I really could do is, trust them to do it, and sit there. And, just the nurses at North Shore, like between, the caring, joking around, our family being very vocal, like, like protect our mom. Like literally they were in the patient waiting room, and this guy Pupovac, shout out Pupovac, bro, killer surgeon, bro, amazing heart surgeon. And he's such a funny guy. And when you get in the surgery room, and like, if you guys been where it's like, they're like laying, and he comes in to talk to you about what's happening. And so usually it's like one person there. It's my whole family. My brother's 6'5", my dad's 6'4", I'm there, my sister's 6'3", and we're all not sitting, and we're standing around my mom. So he comes in, he's like, hey, can I help? Oh, he was like, this is actually the most people I've ever had here. And we were all like, what are you doing? When are you doing it?
Yeah.
Why? And he's like, so shout out to, he's like, holy shit. But it was cool to see the nurses, like, mad respect, seeing them, like, I don't know if I would be able to do it, or honestly, if I would want to. It's a stressful thing all day. They don't stop. Yeah. Shout out to all the nurses, because honestly, and doctors, it's a
hard job.
Yeah, forget about cold calling at JP Morgan all day long.
Yeah. Listen, I'm so cold, baby.
Nothing.
I'll call anybody. Give me a number. Hey, what's up? What do you want?
Remember me?
Yeah, exactly. I love that shit, bro. I was actually on a call for just something I was doing the other day, and a lady I called picked up, and she goes, I don't want to talk right now. Goodbye. And I'm like, okay. And as a caller, someone that calls, it's like you realize people, you can't take emotions like that. People are always dealing with things. They don't know you or what you look like. So, I'm like, I just got to say hi. She's like, I'm like, oh, easy. But I love calling. It's my favorite
thing.
We
talked about this the other day.
Yeah, I do.
That's really funny.
I'm on the phones all day.
Yeah, what's the first piece of art that you've ever like completed? Like you were like, I definitely need to keep doing this. What was it of?
It's a good question. I'd probably say one of the first pieces I started when I was still at JP Morgan, that it's a piece actually that, I got a lot of feedback last night. It's called 3 Little Birds and 100 Fortunes. So essentially the whole background of it is wrappers of fortune cookie wrappers. So how it started, the process of it, I got a box of fortune cookies. And at first I started eating a couple of them, and I'm like, then I started like, yo, I'm going to turn into like this fortune cookie. So I started throwing the rest out, honestly, getting the wrappers, put them all in this background. And I had a vision to add something on top. But I said alone, if you look at all these fortunes, 100 fortunes, like if you connect, you're going to connect with so many that just speak to you in different vibes. So that alone was like art for me. And then the inspiration was to have like, an Asian style, like, scene with like, cherry blossom trees, like some birds. And, I just put this piece together, and again, it was like just finance. This is like what I want to do tonight. Yeah. I can't wait to get back home.
Right.
And I don't think it necessarily was like the best piece, but it was like something where I was like, wow, it's my mind's just like very creative. Not like that what I'm doing was such a crazy final product, but just like I get these things that just like tell me do this, like do that. This wants to get here through the whole process, or that needs to get changed. And it's kind of like very, I feel like fluid for me, because I get like these intuitions on things to do. So I'm kind of just chilling out here doing what the vibes flow. Like if the vibes are over here, I'm
going over.
Yeah.